Hey everyone, it's CajunDIYDiva, and we have another DIY project. And sometimes my inspiration for projects come from strange places. So I was actually at a thrift store, and I found these old-fashioned, kind of out-of-style Capri pants. See, here's the tops, and I thought this would make good shorts, maybe. Of course, I need to lose a little weight, so don't look at the size of them. But anyway, so I cut off the tops, and I thought, well, what can I do with the bottoms? Because it has this adorable little flamingo and palm tree on there, and I thought it was so cute. I can't just throw that away. So I looked in my my fabric bin, and I had this remnant of pink and white polka dots that matches really well with the flamingo. So I thought perhaps I could turn this into a tote bag. So here's what I've done. It had a little slit on the end. So what I did was I took my seam ripper and I just undid the stitches there on both sides, and I undid the hem of the shorts. So so what I want to do now is I'm going to turn these inside out, and I want to pin up the side where that seam was undone and just stitch that up. So here's the wrong side. So I'm going to do that on both sides. Let me turn it back around. So I'm going to stitch up both sides so that it come all the way down. And then, see, if you put these together and you just sewed them like it was, then it would be crooked. So what I did was I laid them upon each other and tried to figure out how to make it come out straight. And this is kind of a project where I just have to play with it, and I may have to trim it and different things, but I think it'll work. So I did a chalk line on both of them, and so I'm going to cut along this chalk line, and hopefully when I pin them together it will be somewhat straight. So get rid of that one. And also cut this one. I'm not an expert in sewing, but I like to sew. I used to sew a lot when I was in college, back in the day when you could make things cheaper than... Okay, so I just had a little battery problem. So I just trimmed both those edges, and now what I'm going to do is open these out, open this side out, and like the other side, I'm going to pin this and sew this seam down so that it'll be like one piece. And then I'm going to lay these on top of each other with the two flamingos, the two good sides touching. And hopefully if I lay the flamingos on top of each other kind of perfect, then when I sew it, and I'm kind of feeling underneath there to make sure they're lined up, what I'm going to do is sew this seam together and then this seam together. And this will make the pattern. Then we'll cut out once this is sewn, I will cut out and use that as a template to cut another piece out of this. And so I'm going to go do that, and I'll be back. Okay, so I've got my side seam, so I sewed up these parts, and I sewed it on both sides up the middle. So now I have my outside of my purse all sewn up, and what I've done is just laid it on top of this piece of pink fabric, which is folded over. It's doubled. So now I'm just going to use this. I'm not even going to pin it. I'm just going to use this as my pattern piece and cut out my piece. And this is going to be the lining of the little cute little tote bag. Little Flamingo tote bag. This will be really cute for maybe the beach, or just, you know, hopping around, maybe putting craft supplies in, carrying around, things like that. Okay, so we also need purse handles. So I came across, I had these pieces of ribbon left over from some project, and I thought these might work. At first I thought of sewing them together and using them like one piece, and I could do that, but it would be short handles, and I kind of like purse straps. I don't know, maybe these would work. But I want to have two handles on each side of the purse. So I might just take two of the longer pieces, fold them in half, since this is already finished on the outside, and sew it and then press it so that it can be the purse straps. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to sew this bottom seam, and then I'm going to sew the sides and the bottom of the lining together, and I'm going to figure out what to do about this purse handle. I could also just make straps out of the pink. So I am going to sew this, and I'll be right back.